Good afternoon. Are you here for the Masterclass Marathon? Because I am. Today is Saturday, and we are here at the 12 p.m. segment of the Masterclass Marathon. So my name is Coach Tamika James, and I am here to be your official host today. So let me get something on the screen to just share with you what we are doing today. I'm always excited about being here. Welcome, welcome. We have one of our special guest speakers in the building. Hey, Tiger. Hey, man, how you doing? Oh, my gosh, long time. So I'm welcoming up one of our other speakers. Welcome. Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
Oh, I'm excited about being here today for the Masterclass Marathon so we can share this information out to people who need what we know. So let's go ahead and do a few shares so that some folks can get on in the building and be able to watch and join and just listen to what we are sharing today. I
Yes.
absolutely love doing this every week because, you know, for me, I know you were saying something the other day when we were in one of the rooms and you were talking about, you know, doing free things and stuff like that. And yeah, we have a space for us to do free. And right here is definitely it. And I love the fact that I can come here, give out information and just share with those who need it.
Absolutely. We were talking about so first I think we should tell people where we were talking about this. We were talking about this. I think this was one of the official Glue Club conversations, the impromptu conversations.
It was.
But me and you do a room on Tuesdays nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Clubhouse as well, under the social house, right? Isn't it
Coach's
the
Social House.
Coach's Social House? Yes, Coach's Social House. So we are there. That room is lit, guys. So you guys have to be in there because that room is amazing. And then Wednesdays at noon, we are running a room in the official Glue Club called the Impromptu Conversations, and we do that. And in that room, we were talking about this topic of, I'm not the free girl. I don't do these free lead magnets. I feel like I do a lot of free speaking. I speak a lot. I'm here on Clubhouse. I mean, I'm on Clubhouse. I'm doing lives. I do pretty much I'll talk anywhere that people want me to talk. But I feel like if you are interested in what I'm saying, that is enough for me to give you for free, because it's intellectual property that I'm pushing out here. It is my brain. It is my knowledge that lives in my brain that I'm sharing out with people, and I'm not selfish with it. I'm giving it away. I'm pouring. I'm not withholding information. I'm not on lives and in Clubhouse saying, here's a little crumb, and if you want the rest, be with me in this program. That's not how I'm doing it. I'm really giving you the answers that you need, and I understand that application is part of the process. So if you don't know how to apply the answers, then it won't be as effective. But I think that if you piece together this content, you could definitely make some moves on your own. And that is 100% okay, because I really want people to invest who need the investment, who really, really are saying, hey, I need this special attention and I want this individualized help. I want someone to help me do it, right? I don't want spectators. I don't want people to come in just to be like, well, I want to see what you have to offer. You can see what I have to offer on Instagram. You can see what I have to offer in Clubhouse. You can see what I have to offer in YouTube, because I'm all over YouTube and other people's stuff. So you can see what I have to offer there. But when you want to take advantage of the offer, that is where I'm at. I'm like, okay, you want to take advantage of the
Yeah, like
offer.
let's go. Yes.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. Well, so today, guys, you guys are watching the Masterclass Marathon. And actually, let me make sure that I put that up on the screen so anyone that is joining knows exactly what you are here for. So, all right, there we go. So I'm excited about being here. My name is Coach Tamika James. I run this Masterclass Marathon on Saturdays at 12 and on Sundays at 7 p.m. We are searching for more speakers to come and share your knowledge with other people who need to hear your message. There's something you want to teach others, and I want you to be able to do it right here. So you can go to masterclassmarathon.com if you'd like to register to speak. We both have 13 minutes to share information with you, and then we have 2 minutes to tell you who we are, where we're located, and what we actually have to offer to you. So without further ado, I am going to get a timer on the clock for myself. So wait a minute, unless you want to go first. Hold up, I don't need to go first. I don't even need to. That's the you know what, you go, because then I can I'll just relax over here and get the timer going. Are you ready to do your presentation?
I think you and this masterclass are really testing my presentation skills. Y'all are really putting me in the hanger here and saying, you know what, 13 minutes, tell them what you got, right?
Yes.
So I stay ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So I stay ready. But I would love it if you threw me an alley-oop, if you gave me like a topic, because I have so many things that I can share. And I think because we're going to be doing this often, I mean, I would love to stay focused on something that you think your audience needs, as far as networking is concerned. So if you want to throw out like a subject matter that we could talk about, then that would be great for me to set up this 13 minutes and give the most value I can.
Okay. I would say, what is the best way to to meet someone and stay engaged while networking at an event where you don't know anyone?
I love that. I love that, because we definitely did talk about this in the playground. So yes. All right. So I'm ready. 13 minutes on engagement.
There you
Here
go.
we go. Oh, are we at the clock? Okay, good. So hello everyone. My name is Tollisha Joseph. I am the founder and CEO of The Official Glue, and we help individuals master the art of networking so that they can get on the yes side of their business. And today, Tamika brought up this amazing topic of engagement, and I know that this is a huge topic, especially here on Instagram, because we're wondering, how do we increase our followers? How do we get more people to be interested in what we're doing? And I think it depends on what side of the coin you're on. So I have a special advice for service-based businesses like myself and Tamika. And then there's another set of rules or tricks for someone who is a product-based business, because the approach has to be different. So let's start with the service-based business. So for service-based businesses, we really have to start in the comment section, especially here in virtual land, right? We don't know what our people want from us until we start to search for information. So our position in engagement is really being an engagement investigator. Our position is to go in and investigate and dig and dig and dig for information. And Instagram, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, all of these social platforms are really good for you to go in and be able to dig for information quickly. The one thing that I do know is that people love to talk about themselves. That is to be true. And people love to tell you things. And so we don't really have to assume much of our business. We can just go in and find the information that we need. So it's really important as a service-based business that we start in the comment section. And also, if we're meeting new people in person, you can start engaging with asking engaging questions. Now, there is a method to the madness, because you have to learn how to control the flow of the conversation. We all want something out of networking activities. If we didn't, we probably wouldn't show up for him, to be honest. So it really is important for us to be able to control the flow of the conversation so that it's not just a one-sided chat. And that is something that I go over at the playground or in our virtual experience, about how we can create more conversation control and keep that flow really good and keep interest. So what questions do, especially if you are in a service-based business and you are the one introducing the conversation, because there are two sides to every coin. There's an introduction, or a person who is introducing the conversation, and then there is a receiver, someone who is on the other end receiving the information. So if you are the one who is in the introductory spot, it is your job to create the interest. You have to keep the person that's on the other end very interested. So how do you do that? You start by asking super interesting questions. Ask questions that are going to make a common line, a common ground between what you need and what they do. So it's really a strategy. And I don't know if we have enough time to go deep into how that is done, but it really is about making the common thread between you and them, and the common thread is totally interest. Now, let's get a little bit into the product side of business. If you're a product business, you're doing skincare, or you have t-shirts or merchandise, your merchandise kind of speaks for itself. So you can start with the introduction of either the merchandise itself, which I have like here, this a beautiful Alicia Boateng glass. She's a celebrity cup designer, but she's also been featured on the Today Show. And when we were talking, I was saying to her in this situation, hey, what we should do is open with your accolades. So if you are a product-based business and you have some accolades, start telling your accolades, start sharing those accolades. For her in particular, she has been on the Today Show. So in our networking playground, we suggested that she opened to say, yeah, I'm a designer of some items that was featured on the Today Show, right? Instead of saying, I am Alicia Boateng, a celebrity cup designer. Why? Because we know that people in the networking space, they want publicity, and that is interesting to them. They're interested to know, how did you get on the Today Show? And now you have a good opening to share about your cups and how that came about and how you got the journey to the Today Show. So it's a very interesting conversation. Gone are the days that we have the 30-second pitch. And I think the pitch is really good to create a baseline about what it is that you're talking about. It's a foundation for you to be able to tap in any section, but we have to learn how to separate and break it apart and move it around and play with it a little bit so that it creates interest for our listener. We don't want to tune people out in our conversations. It's not going to convert. And if we're all looking for conversions, we need all the listening ears up and interested, like antennas, so that they are like, boop, 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 boop. What do you want to talk about? I'm so interested. And then we have to make sure that the words that we're sharing are shareable words. So that is my tips on how to increase engagement. I know I kind of blew through the thing, but I do want to share that if you are local in the Fort Lauderdale area, we are going to be doing another networking playground, because the first one was so good. I feel like we deserve to do another one. And it's going to be on a Saturday this time, so more of you guys can come. September 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be promoting more information about the location and all that stuff soon. But I would love to answer any questions, because I think I'm ran dry. I'm not tapped out on my time, but I'm dry on information. I got to work out this 13 minutes, but I'm done. I'm wrapped. I'm wrapped here.
All right. If anyone has a question about networking, have you ever been in a networking situation where you walked into the room and you weren't really sure what to do? I know that Tollisha just spoke about what it takes to engage and also to stay engaged. And sometimes you just don't really know what to say. I do know for sure that a lot of people walk into the room shrinking yourselves because you believe everyone else in the room has so much more to offer than you do. So if that is anyone, if you have a question surrounding that, what do you do about that? If you have a question surrounding, what is it that you should not say? Maybe what should you not say? Because there are some things probably that you should just never do. And if you have a question about that, ask her.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you think of anything right now, Tollisha, because the clock is still going, is there anything that you just should not do? What's not favorable when you are networking?
I think the common things are, try to be on time, actually try to be early so that you get the first dips, right? You want to be able to see who's walking through the door. And if you're the one who's coming in, then people are kind of judging you. You kind of want to be in the judge's seat.
Yeah.
So be early so that you can see what's coming into your funnel, what's coming in the door. That's one thing. So, we kind of are super, super relaxed in networking, and we're like, oh, it's just social hour. And we're just here to socialize. But really, there's business to be done in networking situations. I could just share Tamika's experience at the playground.
Oh, yeah,
There
sure.
was
Go ahead.
a real exchange happened there, multiple in one conversation. And it didn't take 30 minutes. It took like 15 minutes for them to really do some real business. And this could happen for everyone all the time. That's the crazy thing. But we played a game in the playground called what are you hopping around? And I think some of the things that we hop around is pricing. We don't want to talk about our pricing. We don't want to outline our services when we're talking in networking spaces. We don't want to really engage with people on things that are business related. We rather just keep it very mild and sociable and relatable. And I think those are things that we really shouldn't do because it's not making the best use of your time. And we have to think about our services or products are out because they are helping people. And if we're in an area where there's tons of people that we can help, we need to find the person that we can help and really help them. And how are we going to do that if we're avoiding all of the things that can help them? So we have to really touch on the topics that we're so afraid of. So I would say, don't be afraid to touch on the topics that are going to help you move your business forward. If you don't get paying customers, you can't buy into someone else's business. You can't pay someone else for their services. So it's important that your business is flowing in stuff and so that you can keep pouring out. I mean, we don't want a dry well at all. And networking is a way to keep your well wet. So keep your well wet by continuously networking and sharing the information that is pertinent to your business, your services, your pricing, create engagement, ask interesting questions. Don't wait for engagement to happen. Create engagement. So that's another thing that we probably shouldn't do. We shouldn't wait for the engagement to happen. We should find opportunities to create engagement while we're out in networking.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really nice event that you put on the other day. I enjoyed myself. I met everyone in the room, and it was really good. So please continue to provide that for the community, because people came in, had a chance to learn a little bit about networking, and actually had an opportunity to understand what it takes to interact and to transact to some degree as well. And transacting can be with money, it can be through information, it can be a lot of different things, but it was beautiful, so everyone had a chance to know who did what and all of those good things. So what's going on with your video? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, your video is messing up.
Yeah, we
So
had the cards. So I don't have any like close by, but we have the 3 cards that I use to help facilitate some of these ideas. And I also think that tangible things are really good. I believe in showing people and teaching through the 5 senses. And really think about this, even when you are networking, one, people are looking at you. So make sure that you look presentable. People are hearing you. Make sure that you sound presentable. People are touching you. Make sure that your skin feels good even. You want to make sure that you're soft and your skin is good. So, you want to make sure that you can get people together in all 5 senses, smelling good, put on some perfume, really get yourself prepared, because people will remember all the triggers, all of them. They'll be like, oh my God, your makeup was so great. Oh my God, your perfume looks so good. Oh my God, I love that dress. And she said something interesting. I'm in, so just don't go in thinking that people are only interested in what's coming out of your mouth. They're interested in the entire package. And for product-based businesses, this is really important because packaging is so important. This is something that you really should invest in, because when people get your products in the mail, they're looking for that experience. They want packaging. They want to open up something beautiful. And nowadays on Instagram, you want them to be able to share that beautiful package with someone else, especially their community. So it's the same idea. You are the package. So make sure that you are packaging yourself in a well presented way, and present yourself in a way that people want to carry you with them and share you out.
Timer.
I just made it. I just made it.
Yes, there was the timer. There was the timer. So yeah, well, thank you for speaking. I think you told us what you have that's coming up. Do you have anything else that you'd like for us to know that's actually coming up, or anything you want us to know about? I'll give you 2 minutes on the clock if there's anything you wish to share.
Oh, yeah. So I am running the networking playground virtually. So this is exciting. It is limited. I only take 10 people in each session. It's a 3-session opportunity. So we meet 3 times for 2 hours each session. The cost of this is $527, $527, and every participant gets a special gift from me. So it is worth your investment. But I'm telling you, man, the reason why it is priced that way is because I know for a fact that if you sit in these sessions, your networking will produce you your money back. You will get a return on your investment, and I can almost guarantee it if you utilize the tools that are being put in here. The key here is, I've done this a million times. Tamika's living proof. She got a result in 15 minutes. It doesn't take a long time to get a result here. It's application. Are you applying the tools? Are you using them properly? And when you do that, you will see gains. You will definitely see gains. You will get exactly what you need when you need it, right then, right there.
All right, awesome, awesome. Okay, so guys, make sure you click the arrow at the top and give Tollisha a quick follow. And if you have a question for her, she's very friendly. All you have to do is get in the DMs with her, ask her your question. She will definitely respond to you. If you're interested in signing up, make sure that you do that as soon as possible. All right,
Yeah,
so
DM
Tollisha,
me the word recess. Recess. If you're interested in signing up for the networking playground, DM me the word recess. And I will get you the information.
all right, awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm going to reset the clock for myself. I'm going to give myself the 13 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys some info that you definitely need, whether you are doing what I'm speaking about or not. Okay, so stay tuned. Will you feel free to share this live out with at least 5 to 10 people, so that you will not be considered to be a stingy person today, to make sure that some other folks get in here and get this information. So you guys are watching the Masterclass Marathon, which is, I'm going to get my clock started. The Masterclass Marathon, which is happening here on Saturdays at 12 and on Sundays at 7 Eastern Standard Time. We are sharing information that you know you need, or something that you didn't even know that you needed to know. So my name is Coach Tamika James. I'm a life and business coach. I help especially new coaches to monetize your knowledge. And even if you don't consider yourself to be a coach, I can assist you as well. I help you to take what you know, package it up, and create it as a product. Now, one of the things that I have been seeing recently on Instagram, I've been scrolling and I see a lot of people speaking. And these people that I'm watching that are speaking are doing an amazing job doing this public speaking. But there is no product. There's nothing. Literally, you guys are sharing your information. You're all over the place for free, especially. Sometimes you're getting paid, but you have no other thing that you can put in a person's hands. There's no other way to draw people in and bring them into your ecosystem. There's no way to stay connected. There's no way to further help them than what they heard you say on an Instagram live or a Facebook live or even in a Clubhouse room. So my topic today is all about closing the gap in, okay? Closing in the gap. And I want to talk about this because if you are a person that has information to share and you have not created a product, there is a gap. But let's talk about what the gap is and why does the gap exist. So today I'm going to talk about why it exists, and I'm also going to give you some practical steps to move forward to be able to close in the gap. So welcome, Latara. Thank you, everyone who joined, who's here, share this live, because I'm about to give out some information that all of you who are here could use. And I'm also going to give some information that maybe you could share with a friend. Now, some of the things that I'm going to talk about are going to be practical things that you need to just pay attention to in your day to day. So the first thing I want to speak about is, no matter what you're going to do, accountability is super important in everything that you do. Either you're going to be accountable to yourself or you're going to be accountable with a partner. Now, you have to know who you are. Now, I've been talking about this thing lately about scanning, doing a scan of your body and a scan of your business. You literally have to stop and scan and see who you really are, what you're capable of, and what you know that you need assistance with so that you can know how to proceed. If you're not well with doing things on your own, then find an accountability partner. Now, I caution you in asking anyone just to be a partner, because if they don't get you, they don't understand what you're up to and what your goal is, they're not going to be a really good accountability partner. Now, I also want to ask that if you get an accountability partner to make sure you get things done, that you express to them how serious you are about what it is you need to accomplish. You give them timelines and you help them to understand why you need them and what you need from them. Now, real accountability partners do things like, one person will state what they are up to, what their goal is. You can text it to the other person, and then you can ask them to make sure that they touch base and make sure you're doing what you should be doing. So if you tell them that you need to brush your teeth every morning and night, then they need to communicate with you. Well, it's nighttime. Did you brush twice today, or did you just do it once? They're taking on a task. So you're asking them to be this person for you. And 9 times out of 10, usually accountability partners are partners, meaning that they do it for each other. So maybe the other person wants to just make sure that they were drinking enough water for the day. So tell them what you really need and tell them how you want them to communicate with you. Okay. So if you're doing it for yourself, I
I'm
need
sorry, I
to
have a
write as
question.
many lists as possible. Wait.
Okay, I'm
I want
sorry.
to flow on the flow. Oh, let me make sure that you write as many lists out as possible to keep yourself accountable. So I'm going to share with you something that I know that most men do to keep themselves accountable. Now, I'm saying men because men usually do this. Now, women are capable as well. And I want you to teach yourself to do this. You're going to need to learn how to compartmentalize things. When I said men, you guys know I'm telling the truth. Men know how to take things and they will do this one thing and they are like full speed ahead on this and they're not looking at nothing else. You can't even penetrate. So if you're going to be able to make sure you're doing it on your own, compartmentalize some things. Make sure you jump in and you say, this is what I'm doing at this time. It means you're time blocking and you're literally saying to yourself, I'm not going to let anything else come into this space. Tollisha, did you want to share something real quick?
Oh, I had a question about your accountability because you were saying how it's a partnership, and I actually had somebody ask me to be their accountability partner, but I was like, I don't have anything current that I need to be held accountable for. So how does it work when it's that way, when you're requesting an accountability partner, but the partner
Oh,
that you
that's cool.
chose doesn't really have anything to be accountable for at that time? Not to say that I don't have things I need to be accountable for, but at that moment, I didn't
Got you.
have anything that I was needing accountability for. So what do you do in that case?
Okay. All right. If there is no reciprocation, you're either gonna have to ask them, are they just willing to do it or not? Now, here's the thing. Usually reciprocation is what makes it flow. Because if I know that I'm helping you with something and you're helping me with something, it keeps the flow going because we're both working at making sure we're each going in the right direction. So I will say it works much better when both people are helping each other. Now, if you have a friend that is really not up to much of anything and you can count on them to really, communicate with you, it might work. But usually when it's back and forth, it's a lot better. Okay. Now, so thank you. That was a really good question. Now, all right. So compartmentalizing things is super important to make sure that you are determining what really needs to get done. And now the next thing is to look at your own schedule and see where the holes in the schedule actually are to determine where you can get these things done. So now I'm going to specifically speak to, let me talk about on your calendar, guys. It should have a variety of things that make you a well-rounded person to make sure that you are getting things done. So if you are waking up and you're meditating in the morning, which means you have a little time for yourself to make sure you structure your day properly, to make sure the things that you need to get done are actually on the top of your mind. Now, I suggest that a lot of these things are written out and handled at night, because if you write them out at night, when you wake up in the morning, it's easy to get things done because they're still kind of on the top of the mind because you've written them out and they're pretty darn fresh. But everyone needs to have a list at some point in time that you can follow that are the important things that must be done. Now, when you meditate in the morning, a few minutes, hopefully everyone is praying and giving thanks and being grateful. That is the space that I sit in every single morning so that I have positivity on my mind no matter what. And then I go into what really needs to be done to make sure it gets done. Now, having a list means you have something to check off, okay? So this is a part of your own accountability to some degree. Now, being well-rounded also means that you are doing some form of physical fitness. So hopefully that is some type of a yoga. Fellas that are watching, yoga is for you too. It is a physical fitness activity that is focusing on your full body, and it helps like with mind work as well. So yoga, if you just do 15 or 20 jumping jacks, guys, I want you to do something that gets your body moving physically, okay? Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. You can do just a few things if you do not make it to the gym, because I promise you, when you do this, your mind and your body are both moving. And I want you to be able to literally have something that gets you going and keeps you moving. So get this energy going, okay? Now, some of you are going to exercise in the evening at different times, but do a little something to get yourself pumped up. Now, once you have your list, make sure that you are able to check back in with your list. There are things that you could put on your phone, which will alert you to make sure that you're doing certain things. So hopefully in your calendar, you're writing out the things that need to be done, and that there is at least a 30-minute time alarm that goes off. Now, when this alarm goes off, don't ignore it. Make sure you get the things done. Now, let me move into if you are going to monetize your knowledge. I want to share some things that you can and should be doing if you're going to monetize your knowledge, creating a place for people to take what you know and be able to find it, click a button, and be able to get to it immediately without you having to use your voice over and over saying the same things. I want you to decide on if this is a thing that you're going to do and create a product. I need you to have a date that you're going to launch. You have to start with a date. You need to know that when I finish making this program, it's going to be done within 30 days, 45 days, or whatever. If you have nothing to reach for, I promise you, it might take you another 6 months, okay? So have your date that you're reaching for. That needs to go in the calendar so that as you scroll through and you're booking other things, you see that date on the calendar. The next thing I want you to do is to decide on what the details are of the course. If you've ever said anything to anyone more than 1 to 5 times, it is time to take that and package it up. And now people need to click a button and get the information. Now, I always talk about the programs. Well, 2 particular programs that I run have dripped content. It means that I've put the things in there, and the people who sign up click a button and they get something delivered to them every single day. So there's a little chunk of knowledge that's coming to their email box every day. And in my programs, I meet with my members for every 7 days, and I ask them, giving them an opportunity to have Q&A available to ask me about what they encountered over the last 7 days. Okay, now you could also just have a self-paced program where your members are just clicking on things at any point in time. Everything is boom in their face and available, and they go through everything. So it's totally up to you how you create your program. You want to think about how many modules are going to be inside the program. If you pre-think this out, and I don't know if you know if pre-think is a word, but if you think it out in advance, you have something to push towards when you're creating it. So if you decide that you're going to have 7 or 10 or 15 modules, I implore you not to put too many, because you can always create a program titled blank and let people get that info and close that one out and introduce a new program with a different price point, same price point, and let them enter the next program as well. So you can have multiple things that are out here opposed to cramming everything into one space. So I want you to think about what you know and where you want to lump it up and put it. Okay. Now that you know how many modules you're going to have, you have to title them all out. You're titling them according to what is it that the people actually need from the program that you're creating. Now, I want you to also know, a lot of you are going to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to sit and create this. Either you're going to sit and use the titles of all of the modules and sit and make a video about the things that are in the title, or you're going to create a live program now and invite people in, and you're going to deliver the information live. So you get a chance for live interaction. You build out a module today with the audience, and it now gets locked into the program. Now, when you build out a course or a program live, what happens is you can tell people that they're literally buying 5 modules, and what if they're for 5 weeks? So this week you do one with them live. But what's going to happen that you need to know is that when people are with you live, they ask questions and they have interaction. It's going to give you an understanding of what they really need. So you may have thought that the module that's coming out for the next week is the one that they need, but because someone posed a question or had some type of an issue, the thing that you thought in your mind was the third thing, was the second thing, may need to be the third thing, because this thing that they asked you was not answered in this segment, and it should be in the next one to make sure there's a flow of information for your people. And here is one thing that we all have to know. We are who we are as leaders, and we think a particular way. But here is what you should know. 9 times out of 10, the people that you're helping are very similar to you, but they may think in a different way. They may absorb information in a different way than you do. You may be the quick learner, and the person in front of you, the people in front of you, may absorb in a just at a different pace. So now you need to slow down and share information in a different way. So keep your ears open, pay attention to your people, and give them exactly what they need in the way that they need it. And I'll tell you, when you're operating these live programs and people ask questions, if 2 people ask a similar question, that's a true indicator that that thing that they're asking, a question surrounding that, it is something that you need to make sure you're answering. Now, a successful program answers the questions before people have a lot of questions. So this is why you need to use this strategy, because you may not have thought of it like the other people do. Okay. So my timer went off, but I'm going to share just a few more things with you guys, because there's just a few more things here on my list that I should share with you about closing in this gap, because the reason why you don't start is because there is a gap in how you feel about what you're about to do. So without me giving all of the details, I want to make sure that you know that you can use repurposed content from somewhere else to put inside your program. If you've already delivered the content, just drop it inside that program. You don't need to do it over. So you don't have to overthink that part. I want you to know that if you create a course or a program, you could also give people things. They can get something physical from you, or they can get access to something else as a part of the program. So if you already have other things, or you have something physical to give, you can physically ship something to them or give them something because they are a member of your program. I want you to think about what your price is going to be, because if you don't know what the price will potentially be, it makes it where you're feeling like, I don't know how much to put in here because I don't know what I'm going to charge. So if you decide that your program is $50, $100, $300, or $1,000 or more, those price points indicate how much a person actually gives. The higher the price point, the deeper the information is, and the more that they actually get as the form of a transformation, the more help they get at a higher price. And I want you guys that are watching, that are listening, when you're paying everything at low price, I need you to caution yourself that if it's this price, what is the transformation? Why am I avoiding paying the larger amount. There's got to be more at the larger price. It's got to be. It's only logical. So just be careful with just putting a little bit here, a little bit there, you know? So I also want to share with you that if you're going to create the topics for your program, something you could do is use a spreadsheet. Put 10 topics down. Why did I say a spreadsheet? Because you can take these topics, put them all into each box, or it could be a document, whatever. But when you look at them, you're now going to reorder them in order of importance. Because you brain dumped when you were thinking about what you want in the program. Now you have to decide what goes first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now remember, your people, if you're going live, they're going to tell you what's next. So if they don't even know what's next, reorder it before they even find out. It's okay. It's your world. You get to do it how you want. Okay. So
I
those
have
are
a
some things
question.
that I wanted to share that is going to help you to get your course built immediately, guys. Immediately. I don't want you waiting on doing this. The gap is you haven't sat down to organize your time. You don't know where the time is to actually get it done. And the moment that you look at your calendar and you've put the things that you need to do on your schedule, there's going to be this thing called white space. And when there's white space on your calendar, it means that there's nothing officially in that spot. I want you to look at those spots and I want you to fill them in with the time that you're going to use to literally put in what you are going to do to build out your course. Either you're recording videos, you're thinking about what the titles of the program will be, the titles of the, the titles of your module. You're using it for think time, and then some of those top pieces of time are going to be used to literally work. Now, last night I did a live, and I was speaking about how some of you think you don't have time. If any of you have been on a scroll on social media, or you're watching TV, or you've been hanging out in certain places, and those things don't produce the life that you desire, any of those things, those are wasted hours. I want you to look at those time frames, and I want you to just know that there's probably an hour every day that you're losing that you could be building out this thing, so you don't have to keep wasting your voice saying things over and over. All right. Yes.
Oh shoot. So I heard you say about building out the course and making the modules, recording the content, and I just have a comment because I think that sometimes we start these processes too soon. If you don't have an audience, if you haven't built an audience, you can't do an evergreen. It's like you can't. Who's coming if you don't have an audience to 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 build credibility for this product that you're pushing play, you know? And I just want to share that because I think that sometimes we're, as small business owners, we're eager to get into the idea of, you know, let's create these evergreen products. Let's create things that we don't really have to be at. But it's really important in the beginning that you're there because you have to show up for your community if you want to build the community. You have to build out the audience first, you know. Guess what? Whitney Houston had to do small shows before she became a Grammy Award winner. Mm-hmm. Britney Spears was showing up in bars and clubs before she became who she is. So there is steps in order to this thing. And I know that Tamika is really talking about people who've done their foundation laying. They've laid the foundation. They have an audience. And now what do you do to keep that audience engaged? But if you have not built an audience, and you don't have the traction that you need, you don't have people in your sphere that are advocating and saying this is a program that you need to be in, it's amazing, you know, you're gonna build it and then no one's gonna come. So making sure that you have an audience, make sure that you, I am a preacher of the live content and doing it live. Try to count a couple times. Do it at least 100 times live. Do it at least 100 times. At minimum, do it 100 times live. Because if you do it 100 times live, this is what you're going to gain from doing it 100 times live. One, you're going to see, is your audience increasing or is it staying the same? Are you getting the same people coming back into your sphere? Because if you're reciprocating and recycling people, and it's the same people who are signed up again and again and again, your audience isn't growing. It's stagnant, stale. And then you are also going to get what Tamika is saying about the information. You're going to build a better product. So by the time you get to that 101 person, you're going to have that outline of the FAQs, the questions that are more frequent, and the ones that really need to get answered. So you're going to have a better product to help your people better in your evergreen space. And you're going to have longevity because people are going to want to come in because you have built out advocacy within those 100. So the 100 people are going to become your advocates for this program. They're going to share. They're going to sell it for you. They're going to help you promote it. So you're going to save some marketing money. And you're going to build out the best product possible because you have 100 people who have beta tested this for you and are telling you exactly where your gaps live. But if you don't take the time to test it out for a long enough time, you're going to probably cut yourself off in your revenue too soon. Hello, honey. Too soon.
Hey.
So I just want to share that because I think that sometimes we share what we know, right? And we forget that we have people who are in all spaces of business. And so they take the information and they're like, oh, this works for me too. But then you don't get the result because you're not in the position to get the result based on the information that was given.
So let me speak to that. I'm going to speak to that because one of the things that I know to be true, like what you're saying right now about any one of you that are listening, that is listening, if you have an audience, it's easier to do the things you want to do. You do have to take the time to build your audience. And I want to take a moment right now to share with you guys, why did Coach Tamika James build out Masterclass Marathon? This is a space for those of you who want to increase your audience, to have an opportunity to step up to the plate and speak, to do a 13-minute masterclass, to share your information with an audience that is yours or someone else's. That's the reason why I created this space right here. So those of you who have been a little too nervous to actually click that button to say, I want to be a speaker on the Masterclass Marathon, that's on you for not taking the leap and taking the opportunity that's right here in front of you. I've been doing this for months, and this is giving others an opportunity. I was speaking with someone yesterday about, why did I create this and what it's all about. It is about giving others an opportunity. I've built an audience. I've been all over the place speaking around the world. And even though there's not 1,000,001 people here, people watch replays, and I understand that. So it doesn't even matter who's here at this moment. But I will tell you this. This is me creating a space for you to be able to build your audience so that at some point in time, the product you want to build out, the thing that you want to say to other people who don't even know you, here's your opportunity. Here is your opportunity. But I want to share something real quick before I forget. There's something I want to share that I have going on for later on today, actually at 1:30 today when we close out of this live. I have a segment that I'm doing. I understand that some of you are not really sure what's next for you in your life and in your business. And all day long, I could come here and I could talk to you and I can tell you what you need to do. But if some of you have not been able to speak to someone to get through a certain space, to understand what is really next for you, you're going to be stuck and stagnant. You can watch all the people you want. But the reason why coaches exist is because there's a back and forth that happens with coaches, which is that we ask engaging questions to pull certain things out of you to help you realize what you need to do next. Some of the people that I work with, I always say this. My motto is I help powerful people realize how powerful they really are. That's what I do. That's my motto. That's in a nutshell what I do. It doesn't matter how it happens. I help powerful people realize how powerful they really are. But it's done through asking engaging questions. Because if someone hasn't asked you the right question and you haven't stopped to do what I call stop, drop, and roll, to stop and answer the question in a space where you feel is safe, the question you should answer that's going to give you the answer to what you need to do next has not been answered. And you're stuck in a space and you know that you want to do something else. You just don't know what and how. So I'm doing a webinar and it is called What's Next for You. It's happening in at 1:30. So there's a link in my bio that you can click on to get into the webinar at 1:30. So if you are that person, you've been watching these master classes and you're like, I'm in business, or I have a job, I have a career, but I don't know what I should do next. Make sure you click that link, okay? And speaking to what Tollisha was saying a moment ago about this whole thing with community, inside my program called Become a Coach, I have a segment where I teach you to create your own community. It is true. You have to create your own tribe of people who desire and want what you have to offer. And what everyone should hear is that even if you haven't built it yet, you can, and you have to do it. And there are people that are looking for you and what you have to offer, specifically you and what you have to offer. It's not about what we are doing, what other people are doing. They want what you have because you're on this earth for a reason. So everyone has to understand that you have to stop and you have to create the space and you have to do the work so that people see you and that they understand you have information, that they trust that you are real and that you really want to help them. And then they will attach themselves to you. Okay. So I had to say all of those things. It was super important to make sure I shared those things.
Yeah, I think you tapped on something I was saying, and then I guess we could close out. But you know, this idea that we've heard multiple times, the know, like, and trust. People have to know you, then they have to like you, then they have to trust you. I really strongly am against it because I think that trust is inevitable. We automatically trust people. You know, humans are very trusting. We trust people. And at the smallest little bit, we trust. And I think trust comes first. And you have to trust yourself, right? You have to trust yourself that you can do it. You can do the work and that it is possible for something to get done. And you also have to trust that someone else is able to help you reach the goal. So trust is the first thing that you need. It's not the last. And then once you trust someone, you could get to know if the information that they're going to give you is going to get you where you want to go. So you could become the investigator and get to know more about what your people are providing for you. So investigate. And then if you like it, you have the opportunity to make a decision to move further. You know, I think sometimes we forget that we are consumers and we are in control of what we consume. It is not up to the product or servicer to decide what we do. We have options, we have choices. And at the end of the day, we have to make choices that are going to move us in the right direction. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to trust to help you move yourself from stage 1 to stage 2, or maybe from stage 4 to stage 5? And if you haven't found someone that you can trust, it's time for you to start seeking a trusted advisor. Find someone that can help you. There is no reason why we should be stuck in business. There is no reason why we should be stagnant in business. There is no reason why we should feel like we're not supported in business. There are enough businesses around that there is somebody for every single person to get them to the next phase in their business. But the choice is yours. You get to decide, are you going to move in a trusting manner and trust someone else to help you satisfy and accomplish your dreams and goals? Or are you going to stay stuck and stagnant because you don't want to be trusting? That is your decision to make. It's not anyone else's decision. Once you decide who you're going to trust and if you're going to trust, then you can move into the know and the like part. We can't start with like. Everything that someone tells you, you're not going to like it. I can guarantee you make this effort to you to say that if you were to come into my course and do the things, we probably are not gonna, you're not gonna like everything that I tell you. Why? Because change is hard. It's forcing you to do something different and get uncomfortable and do the things that you don't like to do. That is my job. The job is for you not to like me. The job is for me to get you the results that you were looking for. So you're not gonna like me, right? You might want to know more about what I'm doing, and then you can make a decision if you're gonna trust that I can do it for you, right? So we have to get out of this idea of, oh, I got to like the person that I'm working with. You don't have to like the person that you work with. You have to like the results that that person is going to get for you. What do you want? And if you really, really want it and you're hungry for it, you will trust the process. And you have to trust the process. So what are you going to do? And I think the question is, and if we're doing masterclass, I think if Oprah had a masterclass, or masterclass episodes with all these amazing people, I think the one question they would ask you is, what are you going to do? Because you are in control of your own destiny. You have decided the choice. You get to decide what happens with you. So what choices are you going to make? Who are you going to seek out today to help you make the choices that are going to move you forward in your business? And I would hope and pray that it would be myself or Coach Tamika to get you where it is. But even if not, please DM us, tell us what you need, and hopefully we can find you somebody that can get you what you need instead of you being on the search for it. You don't have to search anymore. You know, the search ends here. Just take action and ask for the help. Say, hey, I'm looking for this. Do you know anybody can help me? I'm looking for this. Can you help me? Don't be stagnant in your business. Don't waste time. Get moving, people.
That's right. Hey, Azam. And yesterday someone called me and they asked about something being done, and I referred them to someone who I knew could do it. And I do implore that if you have resources, which all of us should have some list of resources of people that we know that do certain things. And that's what networking is also all about. Finding out who knows who and who does what, because you don't necessarily do everything. And you will be remembered as the person that referred them to someone else, even if you didn't do the work that they needed done. So I want you to just remember that you don't take on everything just because everyone asks you to do something. You may need to take and say, okay, I'm going to send you over here because this other person can get it done for you in a better fashion, or whatever the case is. And I want to employ everyone. I don't care where you are in life, business, or whatever. Today, do something uncomfortable. Anything. Do something uncomfortable, because the winning spaces are in the uncomfortable spaces. Everything usually that you get that's at the next level that gives you like the more is uncomfortable. Yesterday, y'all, I sat here and I created this course, which was an email course. And it was the first time I did that in that way. And it was a little uncomfortable, but I sat here for a few hours and I got it done. And guess what? Now that I've pushed through it, I can teach someone else to do it. I can do it for someone else if I need to as well. But I did the uncomfortable thing. And guess what? Now, when someone clicks the button to buy the thing, it's delivered to them immediately and one day at a time, because it's an email course that now you click the button and you get one day. And then another day comes and another day comes. It's not delivered through like a portal like the other things. But I had to get through the uncomfortable space to get it done. I do these things all the time. I'm just sharing one of my experiences right now, because see, when you do the uncomfortable thing, it took me a couple of hours to get it together. But now every time someone clicks the button, I get to go somewhere else and be somewhere else doing something else while someone's clicking the button, and I'm not physically with them giving them the information. My question is, what kind of life do you really want? Like, do you really want to keep talking over and over again? Do you want to physically do everything that you do? I used to be a cosmetologist working behind a chair, and no shade to none of the cosmetologists. See, that was a great industry to be in, okay? So I applaud everyone that's still there and doing your thing. If that's your thing, you stay there and you handle your handle, okay? But for me, I had too much other information, too much other experience to just only stay there. So you could still be behind a chair if you want, and you can explore this other area and do this in addition. So I don't say that you have to stop anything. I'm just giving you another option to be able to take what you know, package it up, and let somebody hit a button. Because the one thing I said to myself a long time ago was that I needed to be able to make money in my sleep. I needed to be able to make money in my sleep. And with the technology world today, guys, people are clicking a button. Yesterday, 2 people signed up to 2 of my programs yesterday in the evening, where I had to respond to them to say, hey, congratulations. That was me personally wanting to do that. But the system does that already. But they signed up at times when I would have considerably been closed. One girl signed up to my high-level program, y'all. I'm telling y'all the God honest truth. 11 p.m. last night. I was not talking to her. She knew where the button was. Do you have a button that someone could sign up to without you having to be there? Just please hear me what I'm saying right now. This world is a technology-driven world. The way that we scale our businesses is scaling through technology. Technology, not us physically doing everything. If you're running your business physically, I hope and pray that you've also figured out how to physically run it and be able to make the most amount of money by bringing certain things into your system. But if it's only for you and you handling it, there's a cap, guys, because your body can only do so much. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, I love that, and I second that motion. We should utilize technology to help us do all things, and on the networking side of things, I think that technology is a great advancement in how you can build an audience, and you can build it quickly. It doesn't take a million years to have that happen, but having a great strategy, it can help you get to the next level. And I heard you talk about the referrals, and last time we were on the masterclass, I touched into the difference between a referral and a reference. And this is where the foundation is being laid, guys. And I think we're stretching out our return because we don't want to lay a really good foundation. So it's really, really important that we do that foundational work. And it is work, but it's short-term work. It's not going to take forever, and you don't have to do it forever. I've built a business that has people requesting me at this point. Like, I don't really have to go out there and generate. I have people really saying, you need to go and talk to her. You need to go and see her. I want you to be here. Most of my calls are coming from referrals, from people saying, hey, I need you to be here. And they're not like trash. They're really good referrals that are moving me along in business, where I'm getting opportunities to go speak at conferences. I'm getting opportunities to speak in front of corporations. I'm getting opportunities to write books. I'm getting opportunities to co-author things. I'm getting opportunities to to run and live in-person events here. There's just so many opportunities that are being created because I've created a lovely foundation for my network. So it's so important that you do that foundational work and don't skip over the steps. Don't try to fast track this thing. Lay down a great foundation so that you can coast the rest of your business. And once you get to the spot where you can coast the rest of your business, it's pleasurable. I'm all about building business that is satisfactory. And I feel you on that, Tamika, where you're like, I was behind the chair and I was trading dollars for hours. And we don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to be in a position where we're trading dollars for hours. I think we have to think about, where do we want to trade our time and where do we want to invest our energy? And it's time. It's not dollars for hours. It's our valuable time. We can never get it back. We can never duplicate it. It's not dollars for hours. It's our time. And what do we want to spend our time doing? I have gotten to community with people who just don't enjoy what they're doing, and they created it. They created the stuff and they don't even like doing it because they're so focused on the dollars for time, right?
Listen, Tollisha, why do you think I'm doing this session that I'm doing when we close out? It's exactly what you're saying. I know that this wasn't a whole topic, but some people are doing some things that you don't want to do. You're just functioning. And the thing is, you have to figure out where you don't want to go and where you do want to go. And if you don't stop to take the time to think about this and answer some questions, there are going to be some spaces that you're going to be in, and you're going to be there for a long time, because some things are hard to get out of because you locked yourself in that space. But the proper planning and the proper focusing will allow you to go where you want to go. Guys, we should live the lives that we want to live. We've all been in places at points in time where we're just doing things to just survive. And life is not about survival. There will be survival mode for some of us at some points in time, and it may keep coming back depending on what's going on. But do you have to be there? The conscious decisions that we make determine where we are. It's
Yeah.
conscious choices. And some people, I did a live last night and I said, what was that? What did I call that live last night? I wrote it down. I called it, if you're not taking control, someone else is taking control for you. If you don't take control over your life, someone else will. That was the title of my live last night. The
Well, I
title of
think
my
it was
live.
meant to be this conversation because it's 100% true. Like, I know so many people who I mean, I could just list off businesses, really, people who are selling eyelashes that don't really want to do it, people who are selling soap that don't really want to do it, people who are creating courses that don't want to run courses. And honestly, I mean, what Coach Tamika's doing for you is really helping you figure out, where are you best? Where are you best? Where can you show up your best? And then once you figure out where you can show up your best, how you want to show up is totally up to you. You want to show up live? Great. If you want to show up on recordings, that's great too. But everything that you do is coming at your best. I have been personally an evergreen product where the person is on the other side of the screen and they are exhausted by the talking about their own stuff. Right? And it's like, I've experienced this stuff, guys. I really have. And what I would hate to leave here with, we have 5 eyes on the screen. God knows how many people are going to watch this afterwards. And you are feeling it that way, where you're like, I just need money. I just need to open a business so I can make some money. And, you know, when you open a business, it should be something that you are committed to doing for a long time, because it's going to be a long time that you're going to be doing this. So why would you say yes to something that you hate? Why would you sign up for something that you don't want to do just because profit? And the profit ain't going to come right away if you don't build that foundation. Every business requires a build.
Let me answer you. The reason that people do that is because they think they don't have another choice. And the reason why you think you don't have another choice is because you haven't made a choice. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And it's really, for me, especially, I was reading through the Power of the Subconscious Mind last night, and there was a part where it was just simply saying, you literally have to stop and decide what you want and focus on that, and not to look at anything negative. Because when you do that, you're making your mind consistently think about something that you don't want, and it produces more of it. This is a real thing. So we have to make choices about what we want, even if we don't have it or don't see it, so that we could get to it. And we have to just keep being focused on the thing. You just have to decide. And then every step that you take is moving you in the direction of doing the thing that you didn't see come to life yet. Guys, whatever you want, it can come to life. Millionaires are born. People are living the lives of their dreams because they just chose that that's what they wanted to do. Anyone that's not living a life you want right now, I want to apologize right now. I'm sorry that you're not living it right this moment, but I'm going to give you hope that all you have to do is choose what you want. Don't know the how. Just find the who that can help you to get there and start moving. You don't have to have all the answers. I'm going to tell y'all, literally the things that I've done, I have not known what the how was going to be. I just made a choice that I was going to do it. And then I found the answers. You have to hear me for real. The answers show up when your mind is on, this is what I'm going to do. You do not need to know how. Because if you knew how, you would have already done it. You may need to find your who. Someone who has answers. Someone who has enough strength to pull you through it. But you don't need to know how. Just choose that you will. That's it.
I love that. Yeah. Just have the willpower. Willpower. Just have the will to want it. And it's in really assessing those needs and wants. And we could go on this forever, but I know you have something else to do. But I mean, share this live to somebody that you know who is probably stuck in a dead end position that they don't want to be in. If you have a friend that is feeling unsatisfied right now, they are dissatisfied with where they are and what they're doing, and they want more for their life, this live was definitely something that they should have listened to. And it would be your obligation as their friend to share the information that can get them out of that situation. It's an obligation. And I love to use the word obligation because we feel like we don't have to have a part in someone else's life, that we don't play a role in it. And you do. You play a role in someone else's success when you choose not to share the information that can get them to their wants and dreams, because that is a choice that you're making too. You can choose to just hit the button and say, I'm going to share this out with somebody that I know may need this help or may need this advice or may need this. So don't stifle someone else because you didn't need it. Share it because someone else does. So that is where I will land this plane, and
Yes.
we'll see you again on next
Yes.
Saturday because
Yes.
we have so much more mastering to give.
Yes, thank you all for joining today. Thank you, Tollisha, for speaking. And if you wish to speak on the Masterclass Marathon, click the link in my bio or go to masterclassmarathon.com and register to speak. If you are nervous about speaking and you feel like you need to organize what you're going to say and you want to work on it and there's something that's holding you back, why did I do this whole challenge called the Teach and Speak Challenge? There's a link in my bio that you can get to it. You can go through that. That is $97. It is like for 3 days of information, and you get it delivered one day at a time. And you can learn the tactical ways in which you need to, things that you need to know about being able to come and speak on a masterclass marathon or anywhere else. So if you watch that and you do the work that I'm asking for you to do each day, you will find the power to be able to come up here and you'll share your message. You will no longer hide. You will no longer be the person that's like watching a marathon and like, I wish I could speak. All it takes is information. And I've been speaking lately a lot about the introvert that has an extrovert's calling. That might be you. You need tactical things that you should do so that you're following instructions opposed to following yourself like, oh my gosh, and your heart is pounding. You need to follow steps. And if you feel like you're following steps, you will. And you'll be able to
Yeah.
show up. And you can get through all of that. If you have a business, you cannot be quiet. It's not, businesses don't build off of, being hidden. It doesn't work that way. It just
Well,
doesn't.
everything good in life requires partnership. And so when I watched that live and you were talking about the introvert and the extrovert, and my solution and answer to that problem is every introvert needs an extrovert and every extrovert needs an introvert, because introverts are super good at networking. They're so good at it. The one thing that they're not good at is talking. Extroverts are really good at talking, but the one thing that extroverts are not good at is focusing. So introverts are really good at targeting. They're super good at in receiving information. They're really good at sifting out information, viable information, because they don't have the energy to spend a million hours with you to get to the point. They're really good at just getting the information that they need and holding on to it, right? So if you have an introvert in your life that is super good at focusing in, they can identify people just from the watch. They don't really need to be up in somebody's face to know that's an interesting person. They're watching all of the indicators. They're scanning bodies, what you're saying. They're very intuitive. They're listening super hard and getting that detailed information. But the one thing they won't do is speak up. They won't go and speak up. It's difficult for them to just jump in and have a conversation. But an extroverted people they lack focus. And this is true. They just lack the focus. They want to be in the center of it all. They'll communicate with anybody who will listen. They really will do run-ons and run-ons and run-ons and run-ons. They don't have a cap for talking. So if you have someone that is in your life that is an introvert, they can control your flow. They have the ability to help you isolate your conversations and direct that energy to the right person. And an extrovert can help the introvert by being the introvert's voice. If the introvert downloads the extrovert with exactly what they want to share, the extrovert will go and share it. They don't have a problem
Accountability
with it.
partners.
They will go. So making sure that you partner and pair up with your opposite in this way. But the catch 22 is you got to know what you want them to do for you. If you don't know what you want them to do for you, each side will just be on a wild goose chase. You know, it won't be productive. It'll just be on a wild goose chase. So I love that, because we think that introverts are at a handicap when it comes to networking. Absolutely not. They're not at a handicap. They have no disadvantage. The only disadvantage they have is that they're going to require you to come to them to have this conversation. But if you partner up with somebody who's willing to go out and bring the people back to you, you will have better results. So if you're an introvert, find your extroverted friend, that one person that you're like, oh, she's so loud and she's so crazy. Ask her to go everywhere with you, and then tell them, hey, this is what I want you to do. I'm looking to find this person. I want them to know this about me. And can you help me bring them over? Because I feel better if people come into my space. I feel better that way. It's more comfortable for me. And they will absolutely do it. They'll bring people right over to you for sure.
Let me find out Tollisha's still giving tips for networking at the end of the thing. All right, let's go.
I'm still doing it. You know,
right.
It doesn't turn off. It's an automatic pour.
So thank you again for speaking, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. We do have different speakers every day, so we'll see you at 7 p.m. Make sure you stay tuned, that you are tuned in tomorrow evening, and put it on your calendar so that we are something that you're making sure that you're watching. All right, Tollisha, thank you again. And everyone have a great rest of your day. See you guys next time. And if you're coming to the webinar, click the link in my bio. I'll see you at 1:30 in 13 minutes. Bye now.